An emotional Dominica Prime Minister says his hurricane-ravaged island needs all the help it can get. That's our top story in Carrier Newsline for Thursday, September 21. From the CMC News Center in Bridgetown, I'm Nicole Best. Good evening. In his first opportunity to speak directly to the public after Hurricane Maria left a trail of death and destruction in Dominica, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit appealed for aid for the 70,000 plus people who call the Eastern Caribbean nation home. He says the world has so far mobilized to help, but he also says the island that found itself in the direct path of Hurricane Maria's 160-mile-per-hour winds and pounding rains on Monday night will need all the help it can get. Skerrit appeared on ABS TV in Antigua Thursday afternoon, shortly after arriving by helicopter from Dominica, where he surveyed the damage on Wednesday and saw, in his words, almost complete devastation. He recounted his own experience of being left to the mercy of the Maria when his roof was blown off, but focused his attention on the plight of the people, the dead, and the missing and the destroyed communities. He said every part of the island got a serious beating.
In Dominica, every street, every cranny, every person in Dominica was impacted by the hurricane. We have no running water now, we have no electricity and no power. We have very limited now telecommunication services by WhatsApp mainly. All of the telecommunication services down. Private homes have been damaged, some beyond any form of repair, all flat in their faces. Many of our schools have been destroyed. Our main hospital is with no electricity now. They've been running a very, very difficult operations.
With generators?
No generators. The generator had to be set aside because of the flooding, and we're now doing an assessment of the electricals to see if we can turn it back on. Nurses have been working for the last 96 hours non-stop, trying to provide care to the patients. Communication to many parts of the country is impossible. We will have to access villages by sea and also by helicopter. It has been brutal, and we've never seen such destruction.
Unprecedented, Prime Minister.
Unprecedented. It will take us a very, very long time to get back to our state and so forth. So our main preoccupation now is search and rescue to determine how many are dead, how many are missing, how many we need to rescue. Providing relief to many parts of the country, water and other essential supplies.
Prime Minister Skerrit said just from the few communities he visited, at least 15 were confirmed dead, but that number is expected to rise when other communities are reached on Friday.
We don't have the total count because we have not been to some communities. I have been able to land in some of the communities, and the authorities there provided me with the number of people who have died. So far, we would have buried in excess of 15 people. It is in one village, 13 people missing. In another village, 5 people missing. Another community, 2. And we can say that because their homes are no longer standing. They've been washed by the rivers there. We have not been to many villages, and just going by air, looking at the situation, if there are no fatalities, then it's a miracle. I'm hoping to go there tomorrow morning, if not this evening, especially in the Canada territory where the indigenous people reside, the east coast of the country. It would be a total miracle if there are no fatalities in those villages.
So 15 persons have so far been buried,
Yeah.
15. Yeah. Talk to me about the villages, Prime Minister, where these deaths have occurred.
You're talking about Point Michel, in Grand Bay, houses collapsing on people, in a place called Gutter Village in Jubla. In Marigot, there was one death there. In Belize, a community called Belize in the east, in the extreme east. We had some deaths in a community called Dodan, close to Portsmouth in the north. Jubla. As a matter of fact, when I visited Jubla yesterday, they were just having the burial service for the deceased person. This was a 71-year-old lady. People have buried the dead because of the health concern there. So the residents have taken the responsibility to bury the people. So all of the people who we know are dead have been buried.
But it was when the Dominican leader began speaking about the immediate needs of his people that he could not hold back the tears.
We need a lot of tarpaulins and supplies.
It's a difficult, it's really an extraordinarily difficult moment for Prime Minister Skerritt, who, as he said, has given us the opportunity to share his story with the world. And the Nature Isle has been an extraordinarily resilient country. You would have heard yesterday from Hartley Henry, the Prime Minister's principal advisor, telling ABS how difficult it is, and obviously it has been an extraordinarily difficult moment for the Prime Minister.
Water for the people, food supplies, tarpaulins, some blankets, urgently. We're going to need a lot of helicopter services to airlift the supplies to the respective communities. So if anybody's listening to me, helicopter services are going to be critical to get the supplies to people in large quantities, so that we can minimize the misery and the suffering, and also the fact that they really do need the water supply. Every village I've been to, they have indicated to me water, and supplies for the babies and infants. The world, everybody has been very supportive. We're very appreciative of that. Dominica is going to need all of the help the world can offer. As small as it is, or as large as it is, we'll welcome the help for the people.
Prime Minister Skerritt acknowledged that it would be a long and difficult road to recovery, but he believes Dominica will rise again, and he gave his full commitment to that task. Meantime, Hurricane Maria has left Puerto Rico facing the possibility of being without power for up to half a year. Residents were still grappling with intense rain and flooding on Thursday when CEO of the Puerto Rico Electric Company Authority, that's Electric Power Authority, Ricardo Ramos, announced that the entire electricity system had been basically destroyed, and the blackout on the island of 3.4 million people would likely continue for another 4 to 6 months. Puerto Rico Governor Ricardo Rossello said Maria was the most devastating storm to hit the island this century, if not in modern history. And San Juan Mayor Carmen Yulín Cruz said the devastation in the capital was unlike any she had ever seen. Downpours continued Thursday, putting the entire island under a flash flood warning. And the U.S. Virgin Islands Governor Kenneth Mapp announced a 24-hour curfew on Thursday. He said it would apply to St. Croix, St. Thomas, St. John, and Water Island and stay in place until further notice. The governor warned residents that being on the roads would only hamper cleanup efforts and could delay the distribution of critically needed supplies. One of the hardest hit islands was St. Croix, where homes were seriously damaged or completely destroyed and communication lines were knocked out. Hurricane Maria also lashed the Dominican Republic, causing major flooding. Tropical storm conditions have started spreading over the Turks and Caicos Islands as Hurricane Maria approaches that British overseas territory as a Category 3 storm. At 5 p.m. it was located about 95 miles east-southeast of Grand Turk Island and was moving towards the northwest at 9 miles per hour. On the forecast track, Maria's eye will move near or just east of the Turks and Caicos Islands and southeastern Bahamas Thursday night and on Friday. Maria's maximum sustained winds are near 120 miles per hour, and forecasters say little change in strength is expected during the next couple days. The United States government says it stands in solidarity with the people of Dominica and others across the Caribbean affected by Hurricane Maria. U.S. Department of State spokesperson Heather Nauert says they're ready to work with their international partners to provide much-needed disaster relief. And New York City is sending firefighters and police officers to help as well. Mayor Bill de Blasio says 27 members of the New York Police Department and the Fire Department have already left to assist in the recovery efforts. The team includes medics and disaster relief professionals. Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has announced his government will waive all restrictions for citizens of Dominica who come to the Twin Island Republic seeking relief from the devastation left by Maria. Rowley made the announcement at Thursday's post-cabinet news conference. He says Trinidad and Tobago is not in the position to contribute financially to hurricane-affected islands, but will continue to do what it can otherwise.
That in Trinidad and Tobago, that we waive or encourage in such a way that a number of Dominicans, those who can find contact in Trinidad and Tobago, either by way of friend or family, and if they can make their way to Trinidad and find a household that will accept them, that we will waive all restrictions for the next 6 months to any citizen of Dominica who find his or her way to Trinidad and Tobago. And I'm saying to people in Trinidad and Tobago, if you do have accommodation and you have the means, the wherewithal and the inclination to support a Dominican, arrangements will be made so that you can identify yourself. And for the next 6 months, Trinidad and Tobago will open our doors, our homes, our pots, and I dare say our schools to citizens of the Commonwealth of Dominica.
Meantime, Guyana's President David Granger has suggested that land in his country could serve as a gift to Caribbean nations to relocate and rebuild their lives in the aftermath of the devastating hurricanes Irma and Maria. He made the suggestion while in New York prior to his presentation to the United Nations General Assembly. Granger says Guyana is CARICOM's largest state and it has to consider its land space as being the hinterland of the Caribbean.
We are the largest CARICOM state, and we have to consider our land space as being the hinterland of the Caribbean. We have to sit down and speak to other Caribbean states to see how this gift maybe could utilize to give the people in the Caribbean a better life in the wake of these disasters.
A government team led by Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu and Minister of Citizenship Winston Felix is assessing the needs of Guyanese in the islands recently battered by Hurricane Irma, including St. Martin, the British Virgin Islands, and Antigua, where the sister island Barbuda has been rendered uninhabitable and all citizens evacuated. Some 84 persons in the Caribbean and the mainland United States were killed by Hurricane Irma.
We are concerned about Guyanese nationals and, of course, the plight of other Caribbean persons, but mainly Guyanese nationals who want to come back home, students on scholarship, people who've been injured, documentation, citizenship, passports, ID cards, and all that.
Guyana's intervention to help Caribbean states affected by hurricanes is being coordinated through the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency.
Coming up in Caribbean Newsline, Trinidad and Tobago's opposition leader facing a libel suit. Stay with us, there's more news after this break. Grow your business or promote your event through the services offered by the Caribbean Media Corporation and CaribVision. Our distribution provides a platform on cable, terrestrial television, and websites. We cover carnivals and events from across the region. We can bring your event live and alive to the world. For music makers, program producers, businesses, we can expand your reach to in excess of 2 million households daily. Our other services include news updates to enhance your media products, studio space for program and development. We can facilitate the launch of new products and services and training. Contact us and we will help you unleash your creative ability, develop products and services, and provide the medium to watch them grow. Contact Loretta Skeet at cmccaribbean.com or call her 1-246-467-1044 or 1-246-253-3889. Call and book your carnival or event today.
Come, sail with us through our ocean blues, where there's a blessed land that's waiting for you. Shh. Look, listen, feel. Realize your dream escape that's magically surreal. The best kept secret, a place you'll never forget, where adventure beckons with every gentle footstep. From lush mountain green to warm volcanic sand, submerged in splendor, our 32 enchanting islands. A kaleidoscope of experiences. No need to look anymore. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Caribbean you're looking for.
The new IMSA contender that Acura will field along with Team Penske next year. It's called the ARX-05. The cover pulled off that race car just a few moments ago. The new IMSA Challenger's debut, a smash. The cover being pulled back on the Orica chassis Acura ARX-05 at the Quail, a motorsports gathering during Monterey Car Week in August. HPD President Art St. Cyr excited about the new car's prospects.
A Trinidad and Tobago oil company is suing opposition leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar for libel. ANV Oil and Gas Limited says the former Prime Minister made claims at a recent political meeting alleging that the company was involved in wrongdoing. The company issued a pre-action protocol letter last week which was ignored by Persad-Bissessar. We get more in this report from Peter Christopher of C News.
Released to the media on Thursday, it was confirmed that the CEO of ANV, Hanif Bash, had filed legal action against the opposition leader. He filed the claim for libel against the opposition leader in the San Fernando High Court on Wednesday. The company claims that the Superior MP made defamatory statements in speeches at UNC meetings on Sunday 10 September 2017 and Monday 18 September 2017. The release also stated the claim for damages is also in respect of defamatory statements which she published and which she continues to publish on Facebook, YouTube, and social media. At those meetings, the opposition leader, while quoting a Petrotrin internal audit, made statements which suggested the company had billed Petrotrin for oil which was never produced, prompting the fake oil scandal. Last week, the company sent a pre-action protocol letter requesting that Superior MP Kamala Persad-Bissessar issue an apology or retraction of her statements. The opposition leader's attorneys responded to the pre-action protocol letter, defending her statement, claiming nothing said was defamatory. The company, however, contends that her statements were neither legal nor factual.
The International Monetary Fund, the IMF, says it's fairly satisfied with the attempt at economic reform by the Dean Barrow administration in Belize. In its report following its annual Article 4 consultation, the IMF says it's happy to see a number of reform suggestions made in 2016 are being implemented. It commended the government for tightening its fiscal stance in the 2017 budget of 4 percentage points of GDP as an important first step toward fiscal consolidation. Tourism expansion was cited as a bright spot with improved airlift, marketing, and new foreign direct investment projects. But the IMF also cited a weak macroeconomic outlook, high public debt and sluggish economic growth. It says additional efforts must be made to consolidate on both the revenue and the expenditure sides. The fund therefore recommended the broadening of the general sales tax base and reform of the public service. Meanwhile, the leader of the opposition People's United Party, John Briceño, says he's not surprised by the IMF report and he laments what he says is the sluggish state of the economy.
The economy continues to stagger. It's not moving in the right direction. We are not addressing the fundamental issues of the economy, sitting down with the productive sector and see what we can do to get them out of that situation. I know Minister Finnegan likes to say that I am worried about the rich people. It has nothing to do with the rich people. It's a productive sector that creates employment and brings hard-earned currency into this country. And if we just ignore them, then what's going to happen? It's precisely what we're facing right now. And the productive sector includes thousands of small farmers that have 5 acres of citrus or 5 acres of cane. All of them are productive.
And ahead in Newsline Sport, concerned that the region's sporting facilities are taking a hit from hurricanes and other natural disasters. Stay with us. Sport is next.
Come, sail with us through our ocean blues, where there's a blessed land that's waiting for you. Shh, look, listen, feel. Realize your dream escape that's magically surreal. The best kept secret, a place you'll never forget, where adventure beckons with every gentle footstep. From lush mountain green to warm volcanic sand, submerged in splendor, our 32 enchanting islands. A kaleidoscope of experiences. No need to look anymore. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Caribbean you're looking for.
Give us a bit of background. Where'd you come from?
Well, I live in Seattle, and I grew up in a family business and a bed pillow and down comforter manufacturing business, and grew up in that business. Still own and help manage that business, but starting other companies when I was very young, and am now basically I'm a technology entrepreneur and venture capitalist.
And you were
very
genius
lucky
to invest in a company
Yeah,
that maybe some
very
people have
lucky
heard of
to
called
have
Amazon.
Yeah, I was very.
This young poetry puts an official stamp on the construction of the Roxborough Administrative Complex. Works on the 13,000 square foot facility started in July. It's being built by local contractor Towers Consortium. The project is being managed by the Urban Development Corporation of Trinidad and Tobago, UDCOT. Piling has already been completed on schedule.
Have you or someone you know been diagnosed with diabetes? If so, it is important that you know about Glucerna. Glucerna is a nutritional supplement for people with diabetes and contains Carb Steady, which helps minimize blood sugar spikes. Manage your diabetes with Glucerna. Glucerna, nutrition for people with diabetes, designed for you.
With the impact natural disasters are having on the people of the Caribbean, a regional journalist is putting the spotlight on the negative impact they will have on sports as well. Grenadian-born sports journalist Michael Bascom says sporting facilities in the region have taken a hit from hurricanes and other natural disasters. He says while officials are yet to assess the damage done to Windsor Park in Dominica, he believes the region must find ways to build structures that can withstand powerful hurricane and earthquakes. And Bascom is calling on the larger countries to rally behind smaller nations in that regard.
Sports journalist says sporting facilities in the region are quite vulnerable to natural disasters. And having experienced the effects of Hurricane Ivan in Grenada in 2004, says it will take some time to recover.
2004, for example, Hurricane Ivan devastated Grenada, and its sporting facilities were among the destruction. It took years for the island to rebuild, and it came at tremendous cost. Dominica's cricket stadium is among the newest in the Caribbean, and we don't know the true extent of the devastation on the island, but from preliminary image the island's sporting facilities may be.
Bascom believes strategic planning of the building of sporting and other facilities has to be taken into consideration more than ever with the level of destruction, even though in some islands it can't be avoided. He says the other islands now have to come together to assist the smaller ones devastated by the hurricanes as obtained in the past.
In some cases, they have to show solidarity. Some of the other islands, like Dominica, for example, Grenada, has already expressed an interest in assisting the Windward Islands cricket team, for example, which is actually in camp in Dominica because of the hurricane, may be affected. And Grenada has its stadium and all the other facilities. A few years ago, in fact, with Ivan in 2004, Tobago came to the rescue of Grenada because Grenada was scheduled to host the games in 2005, I think, and Tobago came to the rescue of Grenada in terms of hosting.
He believes the resolve of the Caribbean people will come to the fore at the end of the day, and the region will bounce back.
If Grenada could have, rebound after 2004, although it took quite a while. For example, the track and field stadium, because it's only last year the track and stadium was officially opened, since 2004. But it was a sign of the resilience of the Grenadian people.
Several islands have been severely damaged by recent events. Almost all of them suffered heavy infrastructural damage to homes and other buildings, including sporting facilities.
In cricket, persistent rain forced the abandonment of the second one-day international between England and West Indies at Trent Bridge on Thursday. England had reached 21 without loss after 2.2 overs after being sent in. The weather abated enough for a scheduled 1:15 p.m. restart, and that's at 8:15 a.m. Eastern Caribbean time. But it quickly returned to squash any further hopes of play in the encounter. In the time available, Alex Hales struck 2 fours to be unbeaten on 10, while partner Johnny Bairstow, who made an unbeaten maiden 100 in the opening game at Old Trafford last Tuesday, was not out on 9. During the series opener on Tuesday at Old Trafford, the Windies underperformed in all departments, crashing to a 7-wicket defeat and falling behind 1-0 in the series. The defeat confirmed the Windies' fate of having to go through a 10-team qualifying tournament next year involving ICC affiliates in order to qualify for the 2019 World Cup in England. Only the hosts, along with the remaining top 7 teams in the ICC rankings by September 30, gain direct qualification to the event. And that's the sport. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Business or promote your event through the services offered by the Caribbean Media Corporation and Carib Vision. Our distribution provides a platform on cable, terrestrial television, and websites. We cover carnivals and events from across the region. We can bring your event live and alive to the world. For music makers, program producers, businesses, we can expand your reach to in excess of 2 million households daily. Our other services include news updates to enhance your media products, studio space for program and development. We can facilitate the launch of new products and services and training. Contact us and we will help you unleash your creative ability, develop products and services, and provide the medium to watch them grow. Contact Loretta Skeet at cmccaribbean.com or call her 1-246-467-1044 or 1-246-253-3889. Call and book your carnival or event today. Again, the major developments of this day. An emotional Dominica Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit says his hurricane-ravaged island needs all the help it can get. And in sport, concerned that the region's sporting facilities are taking a hit from hurricanes and other natural disasters. That's Caribbean Newsline. For news and sport around the clock, log on to CarnaNews.com. We'll be back here again tomorrow. But from all of us at CMC News, thank you for watching and do have yourselves a good night.